So this is not exactly a review. It's just going to be a series of clips as I watch Star Trek Picard for the. It doesn't matter how many times I've seen the first episode now, but it'll be just some observations and notes. So check it out and let me know what stood out for you in this first episode of Star Trek Picard Season 3, The Next Generation. Let's get to it. I love that the show starts out with in the 25th century. It's a nice little callback to in the 23rd century, which is the way that Star Trek II began. I hope I mentioned that there's going to be lots of spoilers, so don't watch this video any further if you're trying to avoid some spoilers. But anyways, the first ship we meet is the Ilios, which is apparently Beverly Crusher's ship. There's a lot of history. It's very lived in. We get to see, kind of some of Beverly's personal affects from over the years. You see all kinds of things. You see the people pointed this out on the internet, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you can go check out Jörg Hildebrand on Twitter, or check out Ryan Airy's video. It's something like 91 Easter eggs that you haven't missed. And there's also a really cool group of fans called Bev Heads, and they're centered around Crusher Convo, which is a podcast, and those folks really catch some really cool details because they're obsessed with Beverly, so you definitely want to check that out. But yeah, I just noticed a few things. Overall, I'm not really good at catching every single Easter egg and stuff like that, but there's some really obvious ones that just from a viewing perspective give a nice little smile or moment of delight to know that these things are there. I mean, you can't see it, but it's I've collected things throughout the years and they sit around in my room, and every now and then I'll look at something and it'll remind me of something important. So this is the kind of vibe that you get in the opening, and then boom, there's Dr. Crusher alerted and going right into action. It's pretty cool. Okay, I lied. I am going to go over one more. In the same scene just before Dr. Crusher appears on camera, there is a quick pan across a Starfleet, case, like a security case or like a travel case or whatever, that does belong to Lieutenant Commander Jack R. Crusher, Beverly's deceased husband. So that's pretty cool. She carries that around, and that his memory is important to her. No surprise, of course. And I love that Gates McFadden on Twitter pointed out that Jack Crusher was not just a catch, he was the stud of Starfleet. And actually, yeah, totally he totally was a stud. So yeah, I agree with you, Beverly. Oh, I mean, rather, Gates McFadden. Dr. Crusher also locks this mysterious figure who's that's impossible. How'd they find us in the outside the bridge? I guess locks them out. Of course, later we find out who this character is. It's Beverly's son that apparently she's been hiding from her friends and maybe everyone for the last 20 some odd years. So very interesting. But yeah, Beverly's very protective of her son, and I like that a lot. It's very cool. A lot of people are saying that Jonathan Frakes is the MVP of the season, and I can already see why. The scenes between him and Sir Patrick Stewart in 10 Forward are just so good. I know that someone said with these actors it's just a matter, I think it was Will Wheaton or someone on, I see so much Star Trek content, I'm sorry if I can't always get where I saw something, but anyways, something that stood out to me was basically these actors know their characters so well that you just hit record and get out of their way, and they're probably going to give you a really great performance. That being said, they do seem to be directed really well in this scene. So Darren Aronofsky, hope I'm saying your name correctly, well done on the direction. You really captured the feelings I think that one wants or is hoping for when seeing these characters come together. But yeah, so Riker and and Jean-Luc in this scene are just so delightful, and I love that like there's this whole mystery, and like there's a really good kind of like sleuthing aspect that we see here. You know, like I love that Riker points out what Hellbird is, and Jean-Luc didn't know it because he had been assimilated by the Borg at that time. And yeah, very cool, you know, stuff that you would expect these characters to just kind of like talk about and like know about. And yeah, it does make sense. It's not unbelievable or anything like that, and as far as I can say. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna let the whole Titan leaving space dock sequence play as I'm commenting on it. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. The theme is so beautiful, the Titan theme. Anyways, I'm not gonna sing it, I sing horribly, but gorgeous sequence. It's so pretty, and oh my gosh, she's so pretty. She's such a beautiful ship. Look at her. I can't wait to hear more of this theme in the show and see more of Stephen Barton's original music, although he's beautifully and seamlessly blending the classic themes with his new themes. Meeting Sydney LaForge is really cool too. She's adorable, and I like the uncles being annoying and telling stories that maybe she doesn't want her colleagues to hear. So what do you guys think of Captain Shaw? I mean, that introduction is not the best introduction to make me like this character. Anyways, they come on his ship, and you know, they're having dinner. First of all, Shaw's like super rude and starts eating before everyone. I do like that he's eating like some kind of green steak. It's a nice callback to the original series, I think, when they had that multicolored weird food. And I'm sure they did this on TNG too. They always had like weird sea life and stuff like that, like whole squids and stuff. But anyways, he's already eating. He is rude about like the Chateau Picard wine bottle that Jean-Luc gives him. He doesn't let his first officer really say anything, and then kind of like admonishes Seven, you know, in front of Jean-Luc and Riker, and then he kind of pushes Riker's limit when he starts to get a little bit bigoted, perhaps, about ex-Borg, and that's when Riker's like, all right, mister, hold it there. And then Shaw's like, all right, well, thank you, that's my cue, and he leaves, and he's like, just so like, I don't know, he's just so rude about it. And then he's like, sorry, we didn't have time to get you proper accommodations. And then they end up in bunk beds, which is a really nice callback to Star Trek 6 with Bones and Jim. But yeah, Captain Shaw, not my favorite dude. Todd Stashwick, on the other hand, awesome actor. If you haven't seen him in 12 Monkeys, definitely do so. But also just found out he's a huge Star Trek fan. He's a huge nerd, I guess. And so it's nice to see him do that. And I think it's really funny because it's not the first character he's played where the character is unlikable. And on Twitter, he answered someone saying, oh, that's because I have resting villain face. And actually, yes, Todd Stashwick, you do. Another thing about Captain Shaw, what do you guys think? Was he, you know, I know he was out of line with the way he was kind of acting and behaving, but as far as his reaction to Jean-Luc and Will asking for a, I don't know why I call them Jean-Luc and Will, but asking for a, you know, a change in course or change in mission, I don't think he was wrong. I think it was Captain's prerogative to say no to their request, and it wasn't that great, like a ruse, right? Like I feel it's a little obvious. And well, as far as mysterious handlers go, you're very detail oriented. Michelle Hurd is so good. That's not an impression of Michelle Hurd, by the way. That was just me doing my own take of it. But Michelle Hurd is awesome. Also, she's really awesome in person. So if you are somewhere where you can meet her, like at a convention or something like that, I highly suggest that you do so because she's pretty cool. The bunk bed scene is such a nice flex from both the writing team, the production team, from everyone, and of course the director. And so this instantly transported me to the same feeling I get from Bones and Kirk. And I love that it's Riker and Picard, and that's the parallel and the kind of like, you know, current situation. And this is like a really good conversation between the two of them, and you know, I just yeah, I can go on and on about the scene. What did you guys think of that scene? But anyways, Picard and Riker are in the shuttle heading towards the Ilios, and they have like a moment, and you know, Riker's just regarding the nebula. And it's a beautiful nebula, by the way. It's got these like really golden kind of orange tones. That it has like lightning, and it like looks like it's on fire. The fire. The time is the fire in which we burn. But but anyways, you know, Riker says, "Hell of a view," and Jean-Luc says, "The kind we spent half a lifetime chasing." And then Riker kind of says like, and the other half, missing the chase, which is such a great play on words. It's just like something he would do. He's like, you know, now he's a dad, so he can tell dad jokes too. But then, you know, Jean-Luc's like, are you having fun? And Riker's like, no, are you? I just love that. This is like this is gonna be one of those moments that I'll always enjoy watching, is just seeing these two friends in universe and friends in real life having a ball on camera, and I'm just like here for it, totally here for it. Very cool stuff. It's a compilation of classics I recorded for Beverly in lieu of wine and roses. And then Jean-Luc finally finds Beverly, and she's in stasis in this like pod, and you know, he's like super concerned about her and everything. And he turns around and he sees that Will is like being held at gunpoint, and there's this guy, and they're like, oh, who the hell are you? well, first of all, Jean-Luc kind of convinces him to like calm down, and like he de-escalates the tense situation. And Riker's able to like, you know, then like grab his phaser, and he actually like punches him in the or like elbows him in the face as well. But anyways, Jean-Luc's, they're finally like, who the hell are you? And he's like I'm Beverly's son. And holy shit. So like I have seen the next episode, so and so I can't like really join in the fun of speculating, because maybe I know what's going on, but like I'm curious. Please leave a comment, or I think you can do video replies now, so please leave a comment or do a video reply, and let me know what you're thinking about Dr. Crusher's son, and how this came to be, and like what it means. Anyways, that's not even the end. So like they're like, okay, fine, you're her son, okay, whatever, like we have to get Beverly out of here. So then he's like, well, forget it, like the ship's starting to like shake and stuff like that. And he's like, you know, we've been chased, like I don't know how they keep finding us, but we, you know, first it was this, and then it was another group, and like maybe Klingons were involved or something like that. And then he's like, well, let's see, you know, he's like, they're like, who's chasing you? He's like, well, why don't you see for yourself? And then out from the nebula appears this like really menacing looking ship with like fangs, basically. Like it's really beautiful actually too. And yeah, that's it. That's where the episode ends. So it's crazy, and it's so good, and I can't believe what a treat this is. I'm very excited about Star Trek Picard. I know I've been focusing on the Titan, but I just like took another good look at the Shrike, and it's an awesome looking ship. I know a lot of people are comparing it to the Narada, and I wonder if that's intentional and that we'll find some kind of like link to it. But the interiors look very much like those Sona ships, but it's something, I don't know, there's something, the Strike's a mashup, perhaps, but she's imposing, and she makes really cool sounds, and the music, that music is really good when she appears on screen. Everyone check out Star Trek Picard, catch up if you're not caught up, if you're just watching this for some reason and you've made it this far. All right, see you later.